The OBG brought to you by H.C. Henderson Esquire.
Hello, I am the OBG, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about cooking. I don't know, just lately I've been into it, and I think I'm going to share, what I think a little about cooking, because I think people, they often think cooking's just about following instructions, but I think anyone who's ever tried, to wing it, say for instance making jollof rice or curry or even spaghetti, they know that recipes are more like friendly suggestions rather than laws, because cooking's an art. And it's not the kind that hangs in galleries and makes rich people pretend they understand the price tag, but it's the art that lives in the aromas, the textures, and that moment when you realize that the dish actually tastes better than you imagined. Now, a good cook, they blend flavors in the way an African sculptor carves meaning into wood, or the way an Indian classical musician shapes a raga, slowly, thoughtfully, with a bit of flair, a bit of with a bit of their ancestors' permit. And the best part, your plate actually becomes your canvas, and your guests, well, they're either your critics or they're your victims. Now, there is a joy in the preparation, because we live in a world where everything's fast. Fast food, fast news, fast opinions, faster outrage. But cooking pushes back. And there's something grounding about chopping onions, well, grounding once you stop crying, as if you've just missed another episode of your favorite, like sad TV show. And meaning, comes into the play. Now, when you measure out spices, you can feel like a quiet meditation, slowly taking your time over things. The kind our grandmothers mastered long before cooking apps started charging subscriptions. And in the kitchen, for me at least, time seems to slow down. The noise fades, everything becomes simple again. It's just you, your ingredients, and the hope that everything will end up wonderful. And there's also the beauty of exploring cultural cuisines. So let's be honest, stepping outside of your culinary comfort zone can feel a bit like stepping into a new country without speaking the language. But food is a language. Italian pasta speaks in gentle vowels, Indian curry sings in bold colours, and Japanese sushi whispers discipline. And Nigerian pepper soup, no doubt, it doesn't whisper at all. It warns you politely before lighting up your soul. Now, cooking lets you travel and to meet people, and you taste the stories of people and their traditions. African spice traders, Indian home cooks, and the European peasants who somehow turned random vegetables into national dishes. And if you're honest, your palate grows just as much as your understanding of the world and the culinary inputs. Now, there are connections to be made with nourishment. And there's an old saying that if you want to understand a person, watch how they eat. Or in some cultures, if you want someone to forgive you, cook for them. Because food builds bridges. People talk more when their hands are busy. If they're busy in the kitchen chopping, if they're stirring pots or rolling dough. And when you invite people to cook with you, you're not just feeding them, but you're letting them into your personal world of cuisine. And it's also funny how a simple meal can silence arguments, spark laughter, or help someone open up about things that they never normally admit. And cooking together reminds us that connection doesn't require Wi-Fi, although a good playlist does help. A little bit of music in the background and a good meal, and you're halfway there to solitude with somebody. Now, there is something about the cultivation of health, well-being, and that's just a part of cooking, because learning to cook actually gives you power. I mean, really, it builds confidence. And when you cook for yourself, you cook for yourself. You're not just saving money. You're choosing what fuels you. You're deciding how much salt your future self's going to have to deal with. You're taking control of your health in a world where capitalism will happily sell you a meal that contains more chemicals in a chemist's lab. It's a self-respect thing on a plate. And I think you'd be amazed how much better you feel when you know that you can feed yourself something decent without relying on delivery apps that charge service fees just for you being you. So there's also like a personal journey. I think it goes that deep, a journey of growth with the discovery of good food. So cooking isn't just about filling your belly. It's about creativity, calm, touching culture, connection, and caring for yourself. So pick up a pan, try a dish you never tried before, burn if you must, because I think that you learn more from one burnt pot than 20 perfect meals made by someone else. And remember, you're not just making food, you're learning patience, you're understanding cultures, and you can build community when you cook with people, and you're growing. The growth gained by creative pursuits never seem obvious until time has had, well, I suppose it's time. So here's some solutions for you. I think if you follow these, then you're halfway there once again. And if you think about starting cooking, if you want to start cooking, start with one simple dish from a culture that you admire. Cook with someone more experienced and let them guide you, although don't let them lecture you. Keep a kitchen notebook for some of you, what works and what absolutely didn't. And aim for progress, not perfection. It's one step at a time. And most of all, taste as you go. And as trivial as it seems, life and cooking both improve. And there's joy waiting in your kitchen. I mean, real joy. And I promise you, it's worth the journey. So stay curious, stay kind, and always do better and be better. I am the OBJ.
The OBG brought to you by AC Henderson Esquire.